Everyone can get your battery.
My dad thinks it's like a mechanical thing with the starters. Because like literally, I think he could. I don't know. All I know is that it works.
They just
Kind of like has the last. And it was only like until we got there.
Do you see the script?
yes, yes, we'll definitely talk about
Okay.
that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but it's a white edges and black edges. I did a white one and so there's room to like. In black.
Oh, black, but like I can run a button and such.
I'm gonna get out a lot.
Oh, okay.
I bet everything interesting, but they got snacks.
No, you can come on up. Yep. Wherever you would like to sit, maybe over here would be great. Yes. You get to be on this. All right, we are going to get started. If everyone can head in the theater for us.
I feel like I know you. Yeah. Right. But I feel like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Started as
That's the way it
people
is.
in.
I mean, in
Should I sit in the middle?
Oh, yeah, you should.
I love sitting on this. Oh, not right there. No, we're just waiting. Not schmooze. As only show would.
He's right here.
There he is.
He's with us.
I'm here. All right, we're gonna go get started. People can trickle in and people can trickle out as needed. I know time is of the essence. So welcome everybody. I am the director. I'm Dominic Michael Andolina, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. What we're gonna do is we're all gonna introduce ourselves as people on the stage. So just say your name and what role you kind of had in the production, and tell us if you're from somewhere else originally, where you're from. So you've got my name, but I'm originally from the land of Pennsylvania. Transfer Pennsylvania, and my kids are like, Transylvania, are you a vampire? And I say no. But let's start over there.
My name is Matt Bikert. I played Detective Tom Shell, retired. I am originally from New York, but I've been here for almost 40 years, so I'm a Memphis.
I'm Eliana, use she, her pronouns. I'm originally from Colorado. Been here for 5 years, going on 6, and I play Lizzie, the waitress.
I'm Lisa Sanchez Sullivan. I play Sarah. I have been here about 25 years, but I'm originally from Petaluma, California, which is part of the Bay Area. And that's it.
I'm LaTonya Wilson, Executive Director of the No More Silence Foundation. I'm a Memphian, been here all my life.
And I'm Michael Hoffman. I was the playwright. I was born in Denver, Colorado. No relation. But I've lived here since 2015, and I love it here. So
Awesome.
I appreciate you guys coming out.
Yes. So I do want to say this is not I love that GCT offers this to local playwrights. I personally am a local playwright as well, pursuing my MFA in playwriting this fall. So that GCT hosts this competition with the generous support of the GCT board and Teresa Jordan. It is so amazing. It's one of the only opportunities we local playwrights truly have to see our work developed on the stage. And we're just so thankful. So can we give it up to GCT and Teresa for So I've been living with this script for a year, literally living with it, haunting me and meeting with Michael. And so I'm so thankful to get everyone's perspective on this. And then we'll have the time for a few questions after it. And maybe I'll share some Easter eggs in the set and everything, because there's lots of Easter eggs for this. So first I want to ask the cast, and this will be open if you would like to answer this. So this is a very unique process because this is not an established script that's been published, that has been performed a lot. So what is unique about this process of developing a new script that's different from an established work for you guys?
I love doing new works. I am also a playwright and just have my hands in all different areas of theater. And it's such a gift from the writer's perspective to see your words come alive in other people that have been living in your head for 1, 2, 20 years sometimes. And it's so freeing as an actor to be able to produce an original character. There's a million different Dorothy Gales that happen every year in the checkered dress, but there's only one Dizzy that's ever happened before. And so that's really a gift that I have loved being able to explore and seeing this crazy family dynamic.
Agreed.
Ditto.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, anyways. Yes, I agree with all that. And it's just fun to know, wow, we can take this and actually work with the playwright in so many ways, even though nothing was ever changed. But it's just exciting. You just don't get to do that with a lot of scripts, obviously. So.
It was really cool because even from the audition process, Michael was with us in the room helping make decisions, and we made, a few adjustments, and there were things that we did in rehearsal that he went back and added to his script. So to work this directly with a playwright, I mean, yeah, you may have the opportunity to do a virtual reading or something like that, but have the playwright in the room is absolutely amazing.
I'm a filmmaker, so this is my first live performance in 40 years. I had some lead roles when I was a kid, but I don't think that compares. So this was all new. I just thank you guys for bringing me along and helping me out along the way, because this was all sort of new for me.
Great job.
A question for Michael. What was your favorite part of this process and why? Or you're going to say everything. But what specifically stood out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my very favorite process was coming to see the auditions. I was so thankful that we had, folks actually step up and had the courage to take on new material and untested material. And it was so exciting to see really beautiful people, not just on their own, but then working with each other and seeing the chemistry that developed just from the first minute of these auditions. It was so exciting. And of course, that really was the first time to hear my words come out of someone else's mouth. So that was really special.
Yeah, it was really special. These characters started developing during the audition process, and it was amazing. I want to ask LaTonya, our representative here from No More Silence. So this is something that we very early in the process talked about, because this is very heavy material that we've lived with for a year. And now our audience is part of that too, and is maybe still processing that. And maybe there are people here in the room who have experienced things that were talked about. So how can we take care of ourselves when we hear stories like this, or that we've been impacted by this subject matter that's presented in any kind of an art form like a movie?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say the first thing is to face it. Even though we're here and we're watching this, a lot of times our unmanaged trauma, things that we don't deal with, it lingers out somewhere else. It may linger out into drugs, and like she talked about in the play, prostitution. There's different things that happen where people are coping in a negative way. So I would say first, face it, accept the fact that something did happen, and it wasn't your fault that it happened. And make sure that you seek professional help if you need to, but also find something to do that's positive, that makes you feel good, that makes you happy, whether that's visiting a garden, whether that's painting, whether that's singing or listening to music, just really doing something that makes you feel good. So you're not stuck in that moment of anxiety or hurt or that trauma that makes you feel bad. Just making sure you're giving yourself something that makes you feel good, putting yourself in positions that make you feel good, in places that make you feel good. But just remember that whatever took place or whatever happened, it wasn't your fault. And that you're not alone.
And if we think about how much art has been created through pain, and how we as theater artists and writers have created art out of our pain, it is such an amazing experience to be able to face it in an artistic way to make something beautiful out of it. So I love that. Actors, what is one of the scenes or lines that impacts you the most, even if it's like a funny moment from rehearsals or whatever, and why?
The Freudian slip of calling Butchie bitchy after rehearsals. that was awesome, Matt. No, I mean, and I think that, and also, it's been a wonderful gift to me to be able in Act 2 to get to a very strong actor or anger and sadness emotion. I haven't been able to have a character before that reaches that kind of anger at themselves, at the person across from them, at their parent. It just was really multifaceted. So that's my funny and my sad.
There's quite a few line slips. Like sometimes Matt would say the game of golf instead of chess, and like I had to just stop the whole rehearsal to be like, this has nothing to do with golf. I do not know how you would recover from that if that's what happened on stage. And then at one point, like he ordered a coffee instead of a Coke. And it was like, well, this speeds the whole scene. So
You know this was going to be a roast.
we're not roasting you, Matt. Any other favorite scenes or lines that have impacted you? And Michael, that's something that you can answer as well.
Well, you know, for me, my wife is my sensitivity reader, and as she reviewed drafts of this and it went along, I mean, there were things that she really helped, you know, kind of nourishing the script, especially, you know, from the female perspective and from the perspective of someone who is a mother. And I can't point to one particular line, but I can say, you know, without reservation, the script is far better because of her. So I just want to shout out to her.
Yay! And I just have to say along with that, yes, I'll let you. Is she here?
Is she here? I can't see.
I guess she will.
She will be, maybe. Not right now.
But what I wanted to say is that was something very intentional as a director, being a male director, directing a show that has some very sensitive natures of things that happen to females. We wanted to make sure to keep a lot of female presence in the room and to make sure that the actors were safe. That is one thing that I love about how theater has evolved, is we've really been, it's no longer just do it even if it makes you uncomfortable, but it's like, are we comfortable in doing this? Is it okay if we touch a shoulder here? Is it okay with this nature? And for the freedom to say no, and if we have to stop rehearsals, that's why I found it so very important to have, you know, a female stage manager and so many other voices in the room as well. So I loved that about the process. But favorite lines or moments throughout the rehearsal process that you said, Matt?
There are a lot of lines that don't mean what they mean.
Yeah.
They mean more. You know, it means a lot. How does it go? It means more than you realize.
Yeah.
You know, it does. Everything Dizzy did meant more than she realized for me as Shell. So yeah, and there are tons of those in there, Michael. So we appreciate those. Keep coming back. You'll learn more.
Yes, the show changes every night. Yes.
I can't really say like one line. I mean, the scene that Michael's written that I get to be part of, which I'm so grateful for. It's just, I've told them this before. I do find it very interesting as an actor that sometimes you get a script that you're supposed to do for yourself. And so there's so much in that scene that I have some background with on many levels, as well as, I have a mom that has had her whole story, who's not with us anymore. I have a friend that I can put in this story. I have a 16-year-old daughter that, when you're a mom, that's everything. So it's just amazing how much is in that small scene that I'm just always grateful for. How lovely it is. And then grateful to Eliana that since day one has just been like, we can do whatever.
It's really good. I know.
No boundaries.
I wanted to say too, this creative team and this script at this time for our personal lives has also been really interesting parallels that obviously are too personal to share in this space, but really every day we would come to rehearsal being like, and this just happened, and this line reminds me of this. So very, very much the theater universe came at the right time.
The GCT Cinematic
The GCT
Universe.
Cinematic Universe,
Absolutely.
Common universe.
Another question for you, Michael. How has this whole process from being selected to win the competition to seeing your work on the stage, how has it empowered and inspired you to keep writing?
Great question. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't need a lot of external motivation to keep writing, but this was such a wonderful validation just of my progress so far as a writer and where I hope to go in the future. And, seeing other people invest themselves in it and GCT invest in this work, that was the most amazing thing, is that somebody took, this germ of an idea and said, I'm willing to invest time and money into it and make it into something. And that's been so special.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting because everything really, I always grew up telling my family something happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I did enter this year's playwriting competition and I did not get selected, but I'm so thankful for that because I was able to step back and develop this amazing script. And I learned so much about being a writer. And Michael and I have become friends and we're hoping to start writing a show together in November. So just that's what I'm so thankful for. It's so much more than what happened on the stage, but the gift of just everything happening for a reason. So Marcus, thank you for not choosing me. because and I mean that seriously because I would not have gotten this opportunity. And so it was such a gift.
Dominic's submission was an incredible script.
Coming soon to a stage. So another question for you, LaTrosico. What role can we play in supporting the work of your organization in our day-to-day lives and how we interact with people who we may not even know that have experienced this type of trauma?
Great question. That's the organization. No more silence. Just not being silent about what's happening. If you know someone that's being sexually assaulted, and you or yourself has been sexually assaulted, just reaching out to us and letting us know how we can help to help you cope. So just getting the word out, basically, for us. Because that's what we do. We just apply those coping skills. And just being that support. And that's something I didn't say earlier about taking care of yourself. It's basically having a great support team. I had to create my own support team. I didn't really have support when I came out with my story. I didn't have anybody standing behind me because of the leadership role that these individuals played. So just making sure that you guys don't keep silent. Just don't keep silent. If it has happened to you, whether you were a child, whether you're an adult, or if it's happened to someone that you know, don't keep quiet about it. Report it, and then get the help that's needed, and get that support that you need.
And what I love, I just want to read the mission of their website because I was reading this and I was like, this is just another one of those, okay, this was all supposed to happen. So according to their website, No More Silence Foundation, their mission is to provide coping mechanisms through the arts, using multiple educational strategies to help families cope after sexual abuse trauma. They offer a variety of art-related programs aimed to bring awareness and educate on child sexual abuse. And the programs they offer help to provide ways to prevent, educate, and cope. That PEC, I love that. Or yes, prevent, educate, and cope. And they are a public benefit nonprofit, and that was capitalized, and I love that because this is for the public. This is for the public. This is so they don't have to find those support systems like you did. There's already a built-in thing. And it's a public benefit nonprofit corporation organized and operated exclusively for charitable and educational purposes. So I love that we were able to find and partner with you and get that story out because I think your organization is so important. One last question for the actors, and then I'll share a few Easter eggs because there's so many Easter eggs. And then we will ask if you have any questions, and one of our actors may need to leave because the Orpheum is calling. So the last question that I have for the actors is, how has this process changed you? And what do you hope for the future of the arts in Memphis, especially with new works and just your personal careers? Because we all wear many hats. None of us are full-time theater people. I'm a theater teacher. I'm a playwright. I'm a director. And so lots of hats that I wear. And so how has this process changed you and made a mark on your life?
For me, it's crazy. I have a pretty good memory. I have, well, let me back up. So Dominic asked a question one time in rehearsal, what's something that you learned recently? And I brought up wabi sabi, the Japanese concept of appreciating imperfection. And it was important to me because I feel like I'm a perfectionist, which means I don't get everything perfect, but I'm always pissed when it's not perfect.
And he gets really mad if it's not perfect.
Yeah, I get mad at myself. And so I don't think I've absorbed that quite yet because, again, I've got a pretty good memory. I know all my kids' social security numbers. I know my credit card numbers. And I know 53 and a half pages of my 54-page act. So part of the other thing is how you keep it fresh. Well, I keep it fresh because Eliana has no idea what I'm going to say sometimes. And I am trying to appreciate that and I'm getting better at it.
I think there's so much beauty in the words that are left unsaid. And that has come out so much in this script in particular because the words that Michael has provided for us are crafted so beautifully, and Dominic has brought such renewal and life out of the script. As an actress, I have been able to find how the actors exist in the moments that we're not speaking. And that is not something you get with a lot of plays or musicals where it's go, go, go.
And it's
action,
uncomfortable
action,
because sometimes
action.
you feel like did someone miss a line?
Right.
It's
No,
so
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
1 second up here feels like 10 minutes. And
Yes.
but it truly is something that I think makes you stronger as an actor and developing your craft and listening. I mean, listening is something that I teach toddlers. They do not listen. And it is truly a skill to be able to listen to adults and listen to your peers and listen to people who you think opinion doesn't matter when it truly does. And so I think that all of those elements are something that I've really been able to explore, not only as an actor, but as a human in this process. And I'm so grateful for that, and something I will continue to bring forward no matter what theater hat I'm wearing.
We had a lot of taglines for this play, but one of the big ones was this play is about the things that are unsaid. There are so many things that are unsaid, and I think sometimes in our lives we can get caught up in the whole shell moments of man, I'm going to regret this every day for the rest of my life. But I think there's a beauty in saying, but I have been gifted another day, and I can say one more thing to somebody. And so I really encourage you guys as we go outside of these four walls, as I always like to say, is maybe make a call, send a text, send a letter, because I think those are the things that keep us living too. Is that one moment of someone just saying, "Hey, you mean a lot to me," or "Hey, are you okay?" or "Hey, can we go out for a coffee?" Those things matter so much because if you saw the poem that was written as my director's note in the playbill, those are it's so hard sometimes to wrap my mind around. It's why am I still living when there's so much death and decease in this world and decay? But we need to take that gift and we need to keep going another day. So that's been a huge gift for me. Did you want to share some things?
This has been just an amazing experience. Any kind of production is its own special experience. For me, I feel like this came to me at a time that I really needed it, and it helped me get through some stuff. But I also just loved working with this small group and really connecting and enjoying the process, which is so fun. No one else has said anything, but when you talk about what's to come for the future for theater in Memphis, I mean, we have so much amazing theater and we have so much amazing talent. And so I just am grateful to all of that. We also have so much great female talent that I don't think gets to go out as much. So I'm hoping for a lot more of that. Nothing against you men. And I don't know what the future brings. Today is today.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. But like one thing that you guys can actually do is like when there is a new work happening, I know people are sometimes just like used to seeing the things that have been around for a while, but the new works, we could really use your support for new works, whether it's, you know, stage readings at Playhouse on the Square, the new works that they offer, or, you know, this time next year, whatever new work comes to life on this stage, like please support new works. New works are struggling in the country. There are so many play festivals that are getting shut down because of funding and things like that. And so that Teresa Jordan has dedicated part of her life's work to do this is huge. And, you know, we get the benefit of only, you know, that competition only invites people from 50-mile radius around GCT, but some of these other playwriting competitions, like they're getting like 500 scripts a year. And it is a lot to wade through so that GCT does offer that is really super inspiring. A few Easter eggs, and then we'll take some questions from the audience, whether it's for the playwright, the actors, or me as the director, or our representative here. A few things. So a big motif in the show is castling, that castle move, when they realize that Maria may have, you know, castled with Veronica. We really took that in our stage directions. If you notice, one time Shell goes behind the booth, and he goes behind the booth because at some point now he's kind of stepping back and he's putting himself on the back burner to learn from Dizzy. Or when Dizzy looks at that file, and I love it, every night I hear whispers of don't do it, don't do it. But Dizzy castles, and she feels like she is grown enough to take that role, or just Dizzy having to castle for her own mother when her mother passes away way too early. We really incorporated that in our stage directions, and I asked Michael the other night, I was like, did you mean to do that? And he's like, no. And I was like, but it was so clear to me. And also in the set change, because it's, you know, we have, I like to call this last scene the 11 o'clock number, like in a musical where, you know, there's that you know, female actress, that male actress that just belts out that song and everybody like stands up. That's what that act 3 is for me. That transition was very difficult to figure out. How is this diner going to transition into a bedroom for a 15-minute scene? And I hope you saw a lot of the diner was still there because their whole lives was in the diner. She's upset that Butchie's leaving because she's grown up and she's sat at the counter and she's, you know, ate some chocolate cake. If you didn't see, there's a little piece of chocolate cake by her, but she's really lived there. And so that diner has impacted the rest of her life. The order tickets become get well soon cards. The black and white salt and pepper shakers give the idea of chess pieces. The checkered floor underneath you being the chess pieces, or the checkerboard. Them switching around the pictures is switching around the chess pieces, and, you know, switching around the pancakes and things like that. We were very intentional about that. I just love those little Easter eggs that just add so much to the story, and even more if you want to talk about it, we can talk about more. But I want to offer it up to the audience for maybe 1 or 2 questions before we need to end, and I'll stick around, and some of us will stick around if you'd like to ask us. But the audience, did you have any questions? Yes.
I have a question for the playwright. Now, I probably blinked when they explained this during the show, but could you tell me again why Maria didn't leave souvenirs in her own scene?
Okay, so the idea was that if Maria had something of the previous victim, Celia, at her scene, and if she had then left something of her own at the following scene, that would have connected her to all of those crime scenes, which would take away her ability to deny that she had been a part of the actual crimes, versus somebody who had just tried to use that horrible set of circumstances to, you know, enact her own disappearance.
Putting more fingerprints on it. She's just trying to, you know, cover all the tracks. Yeah, I love that question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Active. First of all, my name is James Zulu Miller. I'm an aspiring actor myself. I'm in school. I'm 63 years old, but I'm in school at Southwest, and Miss Sheila in Southwest Macon Cove. Miss Sheila D, this is what she told us to call it. This is class assignment to come critique you all. Yeah.
Good.
Let me tell you something. We've been learning Paramount, you know. And you all are very good. Your facial expression, Dizzy, great. You, great. All of it. And then the playwright, the story. You got to have that. And I want to say, very well done. Very well. And I pray one day. I'm on stage with
Yes, yes.
I gotta go, y'all, because I drive trucks, but I'm going to do this now.
Yes.
I love it.
Can I just add one thing to that? I'm 50 years old. This is the first play I've ever written. So it is never too late. It is never too late.
I ain't dead yet.
Yes.
Thank y'all. Y'all 60. You 60. Look at that. Great job.
One more question, if we have another
Great
question.
job. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I'm Paul Anderson, Vice Chair of the Board here. There's not a question of statement. So you mentioned how this is the Teresa Jordan Playwright Initiative, which she created on her own. So without her, this not only this play, this event not have happened, won't not happen, but the entire theater might not even exist due to the support she's shown through the years. So I think she's done around.
Yes. And at that, we will stick around if you have any questions. And thank you so much I love that there was this meeting to talk back. If you have questions for us, please come. If you want to look at the set, we're here to make your lives more rich with arts. And please, I just love the no more silence. If you have something you're going through, tell somebody because it'll make you feel a lot less alone. And please reach out to them. Please refer people to them and please share their work on your social media because we want to not be silent anymore about this amazing organization in Memphis. So thank you. Thank you.
And tell people about the show. They have one more weekend of performances. Tell them about the show. Thank you, everybody.
Good job, Dominic. Hey. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Of course. I mean, I probably wasn't going to say
Yeah, sure.
Probably all the best.